they have a girl named Milan who is a 2-year-old Muslim girl who was a refugee in Damascus. She fell ill with a recurring cancer that grew malignant. After surgeries and transplant, she came down with a virus called CMP. So I don't know a ton about that. I tried to look it up. It's apparently a disorder that comes from having a weakened immune system.
Hmm.
The doctors gave her pretty powerful drugs, but they didn't seem to help, and she kept worsening from both the disease that she had and cancer. Her mother brought the girl to Zal, a Christian village in the Becque Valley that housed a shrine to Saint Charbel. After the pilgrimage, they went back to the doctor for an examination, and both the cancer and the disease were gone. On their way back from the doctor, Milan told her that she met Saint Charbel in a dream and identified the man by photograph. Um, so
How old was
this
the kid?
one, this is a 2-year-old, so 2 to 3, so
Okay.
somewhere like two and some change.
Hmm.
Um, and so what's interesting about this case is this is a Muslim girl who the mother feels so confident about the healing power of Saint Charbel that when her health is failing, she not only goes to a Saint Charbel monastery but travels there, which indicates to me a couple of things. One, she knows where, as a Muslim, knows where the Saint Charbel, relics are kept,
Yeah.
and secondly, relies on it for healing. So for me, what I liked about this case was not particularly how well documented it was, but how much it showed that there truly is a cross-cultural and cross-religious connection here.
Yeah. And gosh, like that's phenomenal because Muslims across the world are not really known for being new agey
Right.
or like eclectic.
Especially
They're
not in the Middle East.
yeah, like they're pretty. I mean, they're pretty.
Dogmatic.
Yeah, I mean, like that. Dogmatic isn't a negative word, but
Right.
like I don't know if that's risking death or not.
I don't know either. Okay, well, here's a couple of other ones. These are just neat little cases, so I'll run through them pretty quick.
Mm.
Um, Mr. Walid Abulati, who was a Druze man who was diagnosed with cancer of the lymph nodes. All the treatments he went through were ineffective. His wife visited the monastery of Saint Sharbel in the Anayas in Anaya in the mountainous region of Lebanon, and she implored help for her husband. Later, medical examination said he was completely cured of cancer. Yosef El Khoury had undergone a corneal transplant in his right eye. 4 years after, he felt a strong pain and a black spot appeared on his eye. His doctor discovered from x-rays that he was suffering from a detached retina. Yosef visited the tomb of St. Charbel, praying to be healed, took some of the soil from St. Charbel's grave and wiped his eye. Later on, the x-ray showed his eye was completely healed, so he had healing of his surgical complications.
Hmm.
Simon Kwasaki was diagnosed with an ulcer and suffered severe bleeding in his stomach, requiring surgery. His wife turned to prayer, asking St. Charbel with all her heart to heal her husband. Her prayers were answered and the bleeding stopped, and Simon was completely cured without undergoing any form of operation. So these are just a couple of different healings that have come forth. So there are literally hundreds and hundreds of these testimonies, but basically, these are the things that people are coming forth with now. Different doctors, whether or not they're quoted specifically in it, or they're quoting that they had a follow-up x-ray and so on, I can't validate, and nor would I want to go through the process of validating each claim as I did with kind of the first 2 or 3 miracles listed. But it really shows that this isn't like, oh, I stubbed my toe and then I got better. They're severe forms of cancer, surgical complications, major internal hemorrhaging issues or bleeding issues, etc.
Like, I mean, we're talking about like going through a lot of miracles to validate
Sure.
them, and that would take a lifetime.
Well, and
Like,
there are sources. So if you look up Saint Charbel miracles on YouTube,
Mhm.
There are subtitled sources because there's actually a TV show out of Lebanon that just runs through them, and there's
Oh,
multiple
really?
episodes. Yeah, well, because they're so common. So they have like 70 plus of these miracles where it's people just coming on, giving their testimony, going through it, or a priest from the order going through the miracles. And so he literally will go like, okay, miracle 43, miracle 44, miracle
Wow.
45.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, but like if you're doing a miracle every other day though, is that like an everyday thing or is it a weekly thing?
So he covered all of from what I saw. Now I don't know enough information about the TV show itself.
Mhm.
And I don't know how many of these were put on YouTube or so on. But I know that he brought in all the miracles that had happened within the year, and it was like 70 something miracles. And he just went through each one of them. So he just
Wow.
rattled off, yeah, there was a miracle every week, and or more than every week, and this was what they were for the year of whatever 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny. Like that's funny. Like I'm gonna imagine that brainstorming discussion. Hey,
right.
you wanna have you wanna have a TV show about all the miracles? Sure.
Well, right,
Sure.
right, and they have guests, all the time. And so there's definitely kind of a sense that um, um, these things are as commonplace as we're talking about, right? That you
Yeah.
could go, yeah, we could syndicate a television show and give you 70 miracles. I encourage people to go look up Saint Charbel on YouTube. Just type in Saint Charbel miracles and just go through them, and then yeah, it's really fascinating stuff, and I'd never heard of him. So feel free to take a look at it and go from there.
Okay, yeah, I definitely will after this because I especially want to watch that show if it's on YouTube. But thank you for taking the time, John, to
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
this because yeah, we have a lot of conversations on the phone, and I guess this is kind of like one of them where we kind of expanded from there because Saint Charbel is so widely known in the Eastern Catholic Church. It's not really that well known. He's not really that well known in the Latin Rite. So, given that we're both Latin Rite, I just find it fascinating. And these miracles seem to be, like pointed out, pretty well documented for the ones that are documented.
Right.
And that's really good and relevant uh, in the modern culture. It's using your example from Arizona. So thank you for being here again, and thank you for watching. This is John from Project 101. I'll be putting his link in the description for his YouTube because he's got other videos on miracles that expand and go into detail as well as documentation. So thank you very much and have a good day.
You too.